The Oracle of Luna is a podcast with me, Bridget Engels, as your host. Here we have conversations with real live, present-day goddesses who are actively and courageously doing their magical work in the world. Each episode is a bewitching journey with relevant discussions on topics such as Wiccan pagan spirituality, writing, culture, magical practices, art, ritual, and the craft in its many forms. Hello, listeners! I'm so grateful for the listener interest over the last few years, and I want to keep this podcast inspiring to you with my amazing goddess guests and to amplify the voice of the divine feminine in the world today. This podcast takes time, effort, and resources to share with you every few weeks. I have an ask of you. One of the ways to support the Oracle of Luna podcast is to become a subscriber to premium and bonus material. Each of the podcast episodes have 2 links at the bottom. It's quick and easy, should probably take you 1 minute, and for as little as $3 a month, you can support the show and become a subscriber. I really appreciate it, and it means a lot. Thank you, and blessed be. Merry meet! Welcome to another episode of the Oracle of Luna podcast. I'm Bridget Engels, your host, and today I'm thrilled to chat with Patricia Telesco. Patricia, or Trish, is a passionate author and fusion cook. She has been part of the Neo-Pagan community for over 40 years. She is the author of several books, including Victorian Grimoire, 365 Goddess, a Kitchen Witch's Cookbook, and her most recent book, Cooking with the Kitchen Witch by Llewellyn Books. Her Wiccan, Pagan, and Witchcraft books provide real and practical information on magic, spells, rituals, and shamanism, gods and goddesses, kitchen witchery, and earth-based spirituality. Trish believes that the kitchen is a sacred space where you can elevate even the most mundane meal prep into a meaningful ritual. She lives in Western New York State. Stay tuned to the end when Trish gives us some kitchen witchery tips. Welcome, Trish.
Hi, nice to be here. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, how's your day going?
Crazy as always, but wonderful.
Good. Well, I have a lot to unpack here, so let's get rolling. All righty. So as I begin my show, usually I just ask, how did your spiritual journey as a witch begin?
I actually think it started as a child. I just didn't realize it until later. I spent most of my days in the field behind my house singing to trees and playing to guppies. I figured the trees didn't care if I was off key. And I loved it. That was my time away where I could just really be me and not worry about anybody, criticizing or poking fun or whatever. And as time went on, I started learning more about energy work and more about the magical community. I went, aha, I've been a pagan all along.
Yeah, you just didn't know what the word meant, right?
Exactly.
Did you go to college and study women histories or cooking or anything?
English, go figure.
Yeah. Did any of your family members, were they spiritual or magical or?
In their own way, but I don't think they knew it. I swear my grandmother had this way. She would get up at 5 a.m. and make these fresh picked berry muffins. And I don't care where you were in the house, if you were sound asleep, those would wake you up because you wanted one. And the thing is, she had a trick. She baked, you cleaned up.
Yeah.
And there was something in the love that she put into that. She loved it. Every time we visited, that's what she did first thing in the morning. And so that was kind of her ritual. My mom was a very simple country woman, But her thing was her roast beef. That was like her sacrosanct. You do not touch her roast beef. You don't go into the kitchen when she's making it. And my dad was cookies. And each one of them, it's like they didn't necessarily know what they were doing, but they were doing it anyway.
Yeah. Did you grow up in a big family or have siblings?
I have 2 sisters, and that's about it. We have a very small family tree at this point, uh, but that's okay, you
Yeah.
know.
So when did you become interested in kitchen witchery or kitchen magic? And how did you become so passionate about cooking?
I'm only laughing because when I met my husband 40 years ago, I didn't know how to cook. Honest to God, had no clue. Macaroni and cheese, fine. Popcorn, yeah. But beyond that, I really never did any cooking. So my sister, feeling that I was going to starve to death, sent me a cookbook. And so I made a decision to make a different meal out of that book every day for a year. No repeats, no going back. The only thing that really didn't turn out very well was the cream of Brussels sprout soup. We ordered pizza that day. But as the more I did, the more I started loving playing with it. Initially, it was just do it exactly the way the book said. And then as time went on, I started playing a little more. And the more I played, the more I wanted to play. It became fun. And when it became fun, that's when I think it all started. From that point forward, I wanted to learn how to brew. I wanted to learn how to, make quiche. I wanted to make, soup, whatever it was. I wanted to do something different. And so when I really started on my magical path, I mean, officially, um, that seemed to be natural. And that's why I wrote the Kitchen Witches Cookbook, the first one. It was like 30 years ago. God help me. Really, it wasn't that long. I'm not that old. But that book was what really set the pace for kitchen witchery on the market. I'm not bragging about that. My editors told me that. And I was really fussy about the title when the new one came out. I'm like, why are you saying the kitchen witch instead of a kitchen witch? And they're like, Trish, really? And they talked to me about what happened. Scott Cunningham had come in and done a book that had, the magic of food and stuff. But this was the first real cookbook from cover to cover that came into the community. And I'm really proud of that because
Yeah.
I was passionate about that book and I love it to this day.
Yeah, you're a real trailblazer, right? I mean,
I
at
didn't think at the time.
that, but really you are. And, I guess before then it wasn't really like a common term, kitchen witch, and right?
Not that I'm aware. I mean, I'm sure there were hedge witches and kitchen witches, but I don't think there was a lot of talk about it in the general um, public. Only because that was the time at which this whole thing was just starting to open up. It was just starting to blossom. People were just getting into publishing about these topics and talking about these topics. So I kind of walked in at the right time,
Yeah.
and I really didn't intend to write initially. I was doing a little, newsletter for friends and family. And, then I came down with a case of adult chicken pox and had nothing to do for a week. Now, you don't put a type A personality in a house with nothing to do for a week. It would have been crazy. And so I pulled out all the newsletters and started cobbling together this little book idea and sent it off to Llewellyn, thinking nothing would happen of it. Well, they loved it. They wanted me to change it a little bit, but then they added on 6 more books after that. I was like,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
At that point, I was just stunned because I never saw that in my way. But now that I've started writing and I've continued writing, I don't know what I'd be without it. It's just who I am.
Yeah. I mean, you've written what, over 50 books, maybe?
Something like that. I lost track at 20.
Wow. You're very prolific. Amazing.
My problem was initially there was just so much in my head. It was like I could not stop all the ideas. It's like, oh, I have to do this, and I started writing lists, and I couldn't stop it. I needed to slow down, and I didn't know how. So in my elder years, I have slowed down.
Yeah.
Because that was a lot.
Well, how long ago was the first Kitchen Witchery book published?
Over 30 years.
So what, 19, I'm sorry, I'm bad at, what is that? Late 90s maybe, or?
Yeah, late 90s.
Okay.
And then,
Yeah.
and when I finally, I took some time off from the road to raise my teenagers and kind of go into myself for a little while. But then I got the itch again. And so I contacted Llewellyn and said, what would you think about a follow-up on Kitchen Witch's Cookbook? And they're like, oh, that sounds great, but it has to be different than the first book. I said, it's going to be totally different because I'm a totally different person. I'm a totally different cook. And so I approached it as the godchild, so to speak, of the Kitchen Witch's Cookbook. It's very different. It's very different and very like. There's all those little tidbits that I love to include about history and folklore and stuff, and all the recipes. But the way I approach it now is different than 30 years ago. A whole bunch of stuff in terms of the way that the food generation has grown up with all these new techniques and stuff that they can play with, and that also have symbolic value. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah. So for our listeners, the title of the books is Cooking with the Kitchen Witch, Magical Recipes from the Hearth, and by Patricia Telesco. And Patricia, what inspired you to write this other than you just wanted to do a follow-up, or you just really felt you were like itching to get some new recipes out there?
I would say both. I've been thinking about it for a long time. It's one of those things that have been sitting on my back burner simmering. And I finally got to a point that I just really wanted to write this book. I wanted to help people in the new generation with all the new ideas, with all the new, foodie networking going on. I mean, this is the foodie age.
Yes.
It's the era of
all the TV shows that are about cooking and it's going to win and make it a contest. And it's just, I know there's a plethora of cooking shows.
And so there was a whole energy pattern there that I felt I could tap into and work with. And I have to tell you, it was a lot of fun to write. Sometimes it's hard to write things, but this wasn't. This book kind of wrote itself. I think it had its own ideas about what it wanted.
Yeah. So one of the things I wanted to ask you really quick is how would you define what is a kitchen witch?
Oh, I think it's very personal to different people. For me, it is simplicity at its finest, seeing your home and your kitchen as a sacred space, walking gently on this earth. When you go out and pick your vegetables, say thank you. When you go into your kitchen and work on something, think about ways that you can do something a little different. How can you add energy into your food, the love, passion, the joy, the peace that you want at your kitchen table? These days, mind you, the kitchen table is often, because the sofa, people watching TV. But it doesn't matter where you eat. It's what you put into the food. If you cook when you're angry, you are going to have a house full of angry people. My mama taught me that one. Just don't. You'll see it. And it's true. If you're angry, if you're sick, if you're out of sorts, it does affect what goes into the food. It also affects how the food comes out. I don't think the food comes out as well when you're
sick. So kitchen witches can add visualizations, incantations, chants, spell, and it's about their intention, right?
Yeah, it's all about intention. If you want to dance in your kitchen, play with your food, I encourage it highly. Whatever process you find most, it needs to give you joy. Magic shouldn't be one of those things that you put down your head and you squint your eyes and are thinking too hard about it. If you're doing that, walk away, come back later and do something else, because that's not the way it should be. It should be something kind of natural that just flows at the moment. I don't really get caught up in, proper spells or proper rituals. It's what hits me at the moment. And then I follow that. because I figured the universe is kind of going, hey, over here. And I just follow that leading.
Yeah. So it's intuitive. It's kind of like creating an edible spell.
Absolutely. And you get to internalize it afterwards. So think of it internalizing energy. So you not only have the spell, but you're taking it into yourself. You're welcoming that energy into yourself and letting it digest, literally.
Yeah. I didn't even think of that, but yeah, you are internalizing your spell work.
Absolutely.
One of the things I love about your book is all the tidbits about staging and decorations and presentation. So can you give us like maybe an example of like how we could stage a Samhain feast on a budget?
Oh my goodness. I actually recommend at that time of year, having everybody bring something from the harvest. Have a potluck. The harvest is all about the ingathering and the sharing. So why not have the theme of fall and what's available at that time, and have everybody bring their own wonderful creation with little cards saying, this is what it symbolizes. Ingredients are important because some people might be allergic, and have everybody taste test. If you want to, you can make it even to a contest, or you can put votes in at the end of the day into little pots and see who wins the contest. But I think that particular a lot of rituals, seasonal rituals are like that. But there's something about fall and gathering that just reminds me of community. It's warm, it's welcoming, it's all about. That's the time when people really start focusing on family and traditions. So that's kind of my approach to it.
Yeah. So staging, decorations, like, can you give us an example of like maybe presentations? Like,
get out the orange fairy lights.
yeah.
I know it sounds silly, but it's true. I mean, go with pumpkins or squashes or whatever you want. Apples, cornucopia. I mean, really, you look at all the traditional images, and they all have meaning. The cornucopia, the plenty, the apples for health, the pumpkins for protection. All of these things are very simple. Go out and gather fall leaves and wax them for your altar so that you've got that beautiful color, but they don't crumble all over your altar cloth. I know, I'm an old lady. I think of those things. I just, in terms of plating can be fun. If you're making a meal yourself for somebody else, I like to use a clock method. 12 is north, 6 is south, 3 is east, and 9 is west. And you can take and place your food in different areas on the plate to draw in the energies of that particular area. Like, north, what do you want to put north? Potatoes are good for north. North is east. Earth, very earthy, grounded. In the south, go for something that's hot and spicy and fun. I just follow a clock pattern. And you can also use the numerical value. If you don't want to do the 4 quarters, you can use 1 to 12 from a numerology standpoint, and just look at the numbers and decide where you want to put something on the plate, so what you've cooked matches where you've put it. Now, yes, it might I might not always look pretty. If you want to pertify it. I'm all about. Sometimes we eat with our eyes, so sometimes it doesn't necessarily have to have symbolic value on the plate if the visual impact overall speaks of what you were trying to do.
Yes. Trish, what is your favorite dish to cook, and how does it correspond magically or spiritually?
French onion soup.
Oh, nice.
I love French onion soup. I've loved it forever. And every time we go somewhere, I try it at the restaurants. And slowly but surely, I came up with my recipe that is mom's French onion soup, according to my children. But it's 5 different types of onions: earth, air, fire, water, spirit, cut different ways. They're chopped, they're minced, they're sliced, they're diced, so that you get layers of texture and layers of flavor, and slowly in a crock pot. Just let that stew and warm. And then you get that lovely, cheesy, lovely, yummy stuff on top. I love making it. It's so much fun and people love eating it.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. I love that you used 4 different types of onions and cut them differently.
And the thing is that we, along with eating with our eyes, there's textural content.
Yeah.
You know, you can get symbolism out of texture. Is it smooth? Is it hard? Is it soft? You know, all those things play into the matter.
And they really help us identify what types of food we're eating.
Not only identify, but I think it also connects with our purpose. You know, as you're going along, and I'll tell you, there have been times I'm going along a recipe and all of a sudden I go, that's not what needs, because something tells me that it's just not right. And when you feel that, you need to go back and correct your course a little bit. Same thing happens to me with gardening. I'll think I'm planting just perfectly, and the garden goes, "Excuse me, I want that over there." Like,
Yeah.
hey, you know, who am I to argue with Mother Nature? I feel it's a very, very intuitive path.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it's as ritual. I don't think it's as I don't know how to say this. I don't think it's as bound by rituals and framework as it is by personal intent and personal vision. Because if you ask 20 different kitchen witches how to do one thing, they're going to give you 20 slightly different answers.
I love that you do the French onion soup. I love French onion soup, and it's so good on a cold day.
Oh my God. If you ever get to Western New York, I'll cook it for you.
Thank you. Yeah. I also noticed in your book there's a chapter on culinary astrology. Can you say a few words about what that is?
This is fun. If you have anybody in your life that you love, like, whatever, their astrological sign has specific correspondences with food. I mean, we know that the signs are, you know, earth, air, fire, water, which also plays into it. So you take the sign and the characteristics and the elemental and put it all together and create menus specifically for those people that you care about, with all of the things that kind of link into their energy. It's all about serving them, giving to them, you know, taking that time to look at all those aspects and coming together with something fantastic. And if you're cooking for a Leo, it better be fancy. You know?
Well, I'm a Taurus, so I'm not sure what I would, but I like food.
Taurus tend to be very not necessarily meaty, but kind of grounded in their food. They like something that fills them up and gives them energy.
Yeah, I like it. Pasta.
Oh, okay, we're there. But that's how I put it all together. Is I took all the characteristics of a sign, the elemental correspondence of the sign, and lined it up with different ingredients, and came up with recipes.
You've got some really amazing recipes in here.
The only problem is I have to try them all. I'm never going to lose weight.
Yeah, I know. It's we like to kind of eat as we go, don't we?
Well, and I wouldn't feel right at putting something down if I didn't feel like I could stand behind it.
Yeah.
That's really important to me. You know, once you write one book, you suddenly realize that those words are going to be out there forever, and you're responsible for them. And that's true whether you're talking about a recipe or a ritual or a spell. Ultimately, you put that pattern out there, and you need to be culpable for it. And I just think that's really important.
I mean, especially if we're doing like a feast for many people, we want to make sure everybody is satisfied, fulfilled, and they don't get,
Sick.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, as I talked about the ingredient card, a lot of times when you go to a gathering or to somebody's house, they don't necessarily know. They don't necessarily know the ingredients in something.
Yeah.
And they say they have an allergy to onions or they have an allergy to gluten or whatever. If they know that, if you've got those labels, it's just a simple moment of mindfulness that tells them that you're thinking about them.
And that's what this book, it has a sense of care and meaning and pleasure to it. And it's just a lovely book, Cooking with the Kitchen Witch. It's just really, really cool. If you're interested in cooking or have a passion for cooking and you're a witch, I would highly recommend reading this and having it in your kitchen. So, Trish, do you have any upcoming plans for the future, such as new books or events or workshops?
I do have a surprise in the works. I'm not allowed to talk too much about it yet until I actually have more information. But yes, there's going to be a new book.
Oh,
And
excellent.
it's food oriented, but very different than anything I've ever written. So it should be
Ooh. And
it should
when can we see this book?
I have to deliver it next year.
Okay.
So I'm thinking late next year.
Yeah.
Um, I
2026. Okay.
mind you, I'm already into the third chapter, so I might deliver it. Oh, geez. Um, but yeah, I'm very excited about it because it's another one of those things I've been thinking about for a long time, and I'm finally getting a chance to put it down on paper. So it's really nifty. I'm very
Do you
excited.
ever give cooking workshops or classes?
I'm working in that direction. I have to figure out how. Probably need to set up a Yahoo space or something where I can do, have regular teaching and stuff. Right now, I've been doing everything online because over the last year, I've been seriously ill. I was critically ill in November. I'm still recovering.
Yeah.
So I've been doing everything this way so I can still keep in touch with people and take care of myself at the same time.
Yeah. That's important. For our listeners, Patricia, what is your website and social media so our listeners can find out more about you and all your books and all your
Yeah,
magical?
you're gonna laugh, but the only thing I have right now is Facebook. I had a website that my husband built. Unfortunately, he has brain cancer, and so he's not able to maintain that anymore. And so I'm in the process of looking into alternative ways of setting something up. I do have a blog um, that is called Musings of the Kitchen Witch that comes out every Saturday or Sunday, provided I have a good idea to write about.
Uh-huh.
Um, and that's a brand new baby. I just started doing that
Oh,
because, well, I got to thinking, I'm like, God, I'm so far behind on trends online. If I want to keep using online sources, I have to kind of catch up.
yeah.
So this is my catch up time.
So how can our listeners go find your blog?
Stack
Substack?
Substack. Thank you.
Okay.
Why do I have the hardest time remembering that? I don't know.
That sounds like a great endeavor. I mean, you've got so many amazing books and recipes and offerings. So I would love to read your blog. And for our listeners, Trish is going to give us a short 1 or 2 minute kitchen witch tips, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, take it away, Trish.
Okay, the first thing actually happened yesterday, and I wanted to share it with you because it made me laugh. When we put in floors in this house, one of them had um, cracks and stuff in it. It just was part of the pattern. I've been going in and out of there for 20 years. And yesterday I looked down and I went, my God, there are images in those patterns. And so I can scry my floor.
Ha!
I mean,
Love it.
I literally happened yesterday. I'm like, how did I not think of this for 20 years? But there it was. There was an image, and I thought, okay, time to take some notes. And I went back in later. I couldn't find that image again. There was something different. So I know this is something that, if you have linoleum that has the weird patterns in it, you can actually use it as scrying medium.
Mm,
Um, the other thing I wanted to share, and it's kind of old fashioned, but it's about taking your shoes off before you come in the house. Now, there was a time that was just because don't bring the dirt in the house. But
Yeah.
spiritually, don't bring the dirt in the house.
Yeah.
If you mindfully take off your shoes and have other people take off their shoes before they come in the house, all of that dirt, all of that nasty stuff you pick up outside that you don't even know about, you're symbolically leaving outside the house and coming in as a clean vessel.
Yeah. We do that here at our house. It's a energetic thing too.
And people think you're just being fussy. I'm like, no, it's not just about the dirt. I mean, yeah, I would appreciate not having to vacuum as much, but for me, it's not only respectful. You're respecting the home. If people don't want to do it, it makes you kind of wonder, you know, is this person somebody I really want to associate with for a long time? Because if you care about somebody, if you want to be in somebody's life, you honor some of their traditions, you honor some of their rituals. You may not understand them, but you honor them.
Well, and I was going to ask about in the kitchen, is there a way to clean the counter or something that energetically is cleansing, to create our, spell work just before doing our kitchen witchery or creating edible alchemy, so to speak?
Well, I just have I bought a spray bottle and I fill it with filtered water, lemon juice, and salt.
Oh.
Now, the beauty of that is that lemon juice and salt are cleansers and purifiers and protectors. So you can clean off your counter before you work, because I like working in a clean space. I don't like going into a dirty kitchen. It makes me very upset. So have you ever been in a dirty church? Same idea. This is your church. So take a moment to clean it. That lemon, you can bless the lemon, you can bless the salt, you can bless the water, you can visualize white light, you can chant, you can sing, whatever you want to do, but take that moment just to clean everything down and have that ding. You ever see commercials on TV where everything sparkles?
Yeah. Well, we're talking about energy too. It helps, right?
Yeah, if you can visualize it all kind of doing that sparkly thing, that's simple. And it's not only simple, but it's effective. It cleans up the counters. It doesn't do any damage to anything in your house. And it has all the right components for the magical energy you want to create.
I love it. I love those simple, effective recipes and cleaning tips. So thank you so much, Trish, for inspiring us to elevate our cooking and make it magical and meaningful spiritually and to understand the power of kitchen witchery. Thank you so much for being on the show today. And I love your new book.
I appreciate it. I'm glad you love it because it's my heart.
Yeah. And I feel it when I read the book and go through the recipes. I feel like it comes from your heart. So thank you again. And blessed be. Thanks to all our listeners for joining us. We just passed Lunasa and Lamas, so the wheel of the year keeps on turning, right? So have a wonderful rest of your day, Trish. Blessed be.
You too. Thank you again.
All right. Bye-bye.